It's already the 15th of January. Holy crap. I thought it was still early January. It's mid-January. Hello. I got lots of work stuff that needs to be done before early February, and I was kind of just today like, oh no, I got plenty of time. Then I kind of looked at the date. If we're just having a fit, we'll kick its ass. Show it who's boss. Anyway, Spike's having some issues there. You kicked it? Good. Well, I thought that wasn't on frame. What was I doing on here? I think I got Spike done doing his thing. I need a little bit more work on his facial stuff. But for the most part, I think that's done. I think the impact might be a little loud in comparison with everything else. So I think it's this one. Woodbox impact hard. That sounds right. Yeah, that's a full volume. Just turn it down a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. All right. I could probably get rid of... Yeah, I don't need Spike walking anymore. That'll save some space. So this is essentially done for this. Supposed to kick Twitch, not the monitor. I think I'm almost out of non-lip sync parts. You got a brain. Woo! I've been working on other lip sync stuff, but it's been with other things, and they're a lot easier than lip syncing Pony. Oh, I need to find some of the other audio bits. That's why I'm putting theirs on pause. So I just keep forgetting. I've been actually doing a lot of side work on things, but just not on this. So been learning for the most part.
I got an idea for a rocket navigation system, but I need your help.
Yeah, I can do a little wave thing. Well, I don't mind saying I'll do that later as long as it's not detrimental, and it's not. I have other stuff to do in here, so I'm just prioritizing that. But something I could do later might affect the things that I have to do earlier, so it could come up with work being overridden or changed, which I don't like doing, but I'm not going to worry about it because I don't think it's going to change. Too much stuff is intertwined now. Yeah, because this is talking. Oh yeah, he's staring off, but I was going to try to add some kind of talking there. So we can go to the little pony wave back here. I considered using, because I think it was Little Pip had a stance where she did a wave, but I don't. It wasn't a tension wave. It was more like a half-assed hello. So I don't think I really did much for him Yeah, that's just very, very basic motions, so I'm just going to get rid of it. If this is going to be connected... Oh. Forgot. Wait, don't want I'm tripping. He technically has a follow-up motion, something he's doing, so I should do that without locks. He would appreciate having his feet. Okay. So when they start talking here?
I got an idea for a rock. I got an idea.
I'll say right here. Starts moving. So this hoof is down. Oh, that actually works perfect. So if he lifts that hoof, he can rebalance to more straight. So if he was going to wave, I'm assuming that this is going to move him a little bit back here, but not too much. Oh, gotta lock the hooves. I do not need to lock the left ball, though. No, I haven't really looked into it yet. Like I said, I've been caught up in other stuff, but I have been working on a lot of stuff. I've been trying to figure out how to add bones to models that, or add bone names to models that don't have bone names, and what's the other one? Add flexes to models that don't have flexes. So, and it took me nearly a week, but I figured it out. So I know how to add facial expressions now. It just takes a while. Well, it took a week because it wasn't as much about, like, there was an end goal, but there was a ton of hurdles along the way. So it was, okay, I have to take a DMX or a final model file, and then I have to export it to its original SMD through Crowbar, but I had the wrong version of Crowbar because I downloaded it years ago for what I needed, because that caused all these issues that took me a couple hours to fix. So then I had to, so I got the export to work, and then I immediately just resaved it, exported it back to SMD to export it back to the engine to make sure that that part worked. So I wasn't doing work on something and couldn't get it back to the original. That ran into some hurdles, fixed those, and then I had to figure out how to get those into the file, and then I ended up going the SMD route, and then when I tried to, then I found out the DMX route was easier, but then some of the stuff I did for SMD conflicted with that, which caused issues, and so yeah, it was a lot of headache. And then renaming bones was an even bigger headache because it was a model with a rig and a model with pre-made animation. So not only did I have to rename all the bones in the model itself, I had to go into the pre-made animation and change all the pointers so that it was pointing to the correct now new named bones. I had to go into the rig and find out which bones were associated in there so that the rig worked correctly. But I got it all working. So it was a lot of work for something immensely simple, but working with a model that doesn't have bone names, like bone 1, bone 2, bone 3, is a headache. Like right now, all this structure here is nice and simple because I can look at it and I know immediately what those are and what they do because I have it built. But if you had all these just named bone, the only way to know what was to go into here and try to find the bone that you need. It wasn't. Plus, then I wouldn't be able to select by group, which is super powerful. So, so it was worth the amount of work, but it was a lot of work. So now that everything is working, I need to play around with actually figuring out how to make good-looking flexes. So, Yeah, it was. I got it working. I knew I'd figure it out. It just was. I was trying to determine whether or not it was worth the amount of time I was putting into it. But I kind of just wanted to putz around with something new. So one thing is, like, I like now that I am comfortable enough in a lot of the software where, with SFM, that I can basically do whatever I want to do. Time is the only real constraint. But I miss having this, like, this feeling of exploration, that there are so many doors to open. And then it's fun opening the doors, but once they're all open, it kind of loses some of the fun. So it's nice finding something that I could do that again with. Probably should have him move back a teeny bit too, because if he's going to put most of his weight on his front, he should probably move backwards to supply more of the weight to his rear side. I don't know what. Well, I know of one update, but I can't talk about it. Besides that, the models have had quite a few updates. If you go and look at the models as they were from Naka's to what they are now, there's a big change. Maybe not in the body structure. His body structure, the way that he designed that, is good. It's for what's needed. But a lot of people have, since Naka, there's been 2 updates to flexes, I think, on the face, and it's been awesome. Like, Juice Stains is super great for getting that detail that you need. And I think even this one has the male versions of his flexes, yeah. The main great addition of these ones was these ones, the actual physical bones to control things. But I can see the models being updated in the future, but for the more you add, the more complicated you're making things, and you're making it hard for newcomers. Most times if people are asking about, like, well, how do I get into this stuff? I point them to Naka's models, sometimes the Juice Stands, but Naka's are simpler, and they're a lot better to get started with. But if you jump right into Juice Stains, you're going to see immensely more flexes, and it's going to be a lot more difficult. So if you start adding another layer of complexity on top of that by adding more bones and more detail, you can make things look a lot more realistic, but you are adding a lot more work to things, which I think is kind of counterintuitive to what SFM is meant to be. And I love having the ability for myself, but it's just, SFM's supposed to be kind of that, like, good for beginners, good for experts, and I don't like seeing that they might be taking away the expert portion, or taking away the beginner portion. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring this down a little bit. Probably should have the shoulder. Oh, this one doesn't work the same as the other ones, does it? No, it doesn't, because getting a little extra bump here to show, like, kind of like your bone goes up is nice, but ponies don't have clavicles, which is what a lot of the other ones have, where you have your shoulder right here, that that bends, but you also have the control of your entire shoulder, and this is the clavicle area, and this has a lot of power to it. Like Spike's model has it, but these ones don't. So the control up at the top here, I don't have that, which kind of sucks. Instead, if you want to do it, you have to just turn chest two more of that way, and then offset that with the neck, which isn't the greatest solution, but it's a solution. It might be a little too high on the chest too. I think that's fine as it is. Yeah, well, I mean, horses have the bone, yes, but the horse models don't. But it would be a little harder to do that because, like, ours is a big area right here to here, but their shoulder, it connects. You could kind of fit it in there, but I don't know how much people would use it. One of the things that I do find an issue with a lot of these models is the ability for them to go into a standing position. Not that they're standing, but because there is needs to have the chest turned down so that they're more all front facing, and they don't do so well in this area. Normally they get like a bunched line. That's actually one of the things that's nice about the juice stain ones. If I go to the, well, that's, oh, I have that one actually. This one. Oh, I downloaded it for Bones. So I was making the script thing. No, so if turn pony up like, I don't want your wings. Like this, the chest doesn't do so well normally. Right here, you can sometimes fix a little bit with the chest one turning. Oh, didn't lock it. But even then, it's not the greatest. The one nice thing that Juice Stain's models have is a flex called T-Pose Smoother, which helps smooth out some of those bones for helping out with that. So if I go to bend her like this, it'll, so you don't have like kink like that, it'll help even that out. But still, they're not really made to do that. It looks awkward, but there are times where maybe not to that extreme, but you want to have them turn like that. The other one he has too is, where was that? So the lay pose smoother. If you're turning the legs to a very, very harsh angle, that can help with laying down, and the back legs bend smoother is also nice if you have, I believe, like a leg very stretched out and like in a weird position. I believe that actually helps out a little bit with that. So it's just nice having these little, maybe it wasn't that one. There was a move that really does help with. So that's the enhancements I like, is those ones that just make it so that the model itself better fits the needs. Well, actually, if you have a high enough poly count, you can kind of better make that work, but it's just how it's weighted. So the reason that it collapses in on itself is because you're bending it so far that the mesh has to like compress into itself. In other 3D type software, you might be able to manipulate the mesh to fit your needs based on the scene, but not in SFM. But that's fine. There's limitations on everything. It's about, sometimes half the fun is just knowing your limitations and figuring out how to work around them. I love problem solving. So this is another one. So the arm's bending so far that it's going to look very wrong. So we're gonna set that a little bit. We're gonna go neck, shoulder, shoulder. We're gonna help out by turning this a little this way. So I'm kind of, I guess I'm offsetting a little bit of the movement I had just done on the other arm, but if I had to choose between which one to have broken, I'm going to do that one. We're going to see if we can bend these in such a way to fix that. So it looks pretty good here. What point does it go wrong? Right about there. So I don't want to go too much above this. So I can turn it out. And yeah, that looks a little weird too, mainly because of the weighting on that shoulder again. But I can manage that. The main thing I don't want to do is I don't want to block his face. So if let's see here. I'm going to grab his neck, or unlock his neck. I'm going to turn chest to a little bit more. And I don't want to keep just like readjusting it this way. It's going to look weird. So I'm trying to turn it, but then turning it a little bit to the left to offset that. Where's your head? Okay. I think I might be able to go a little higher now. Kinda. Let's see if I can move it out. Oh, if I move it out there, it actually helps a little bit. How does it look with the lighting on? Yeah, even worse. Let's see here. I'll try. We can go that way. If I turn it in, it make it look better. That's dangerous to do though. It might work now, but if I go to round this across the whole body, he then comes up from the outside because everything's churned. It can really start causing some issues. I'd rather not do that. The duality of Doctor Who's. Yeah. Well, and being that he's far away here, I wouldn't really care, but I can't do that kind of thing in SFM. But like I mentioned, with the simplicity compared to complicated, having that ability would be nice, but it would then add another layer of complexity that might be more than what people are actually hoping for in SFM. That was one of the attractive things for SFM early on for me, was that if you compare like Blender's interface to this, I mean, Blender's interface has a crap load of stuff, and then menus within that have even more and more and more and more and more stuff. And that's great if you know what everything means, but at SFM, everything is kind of there. You're just not menus to dig through to find everything. And it just does what you want it to do, and that's it. That's what's great about it. Okay, so I'm going to have him wave in this time. Probably to here, where I'm actually plan this better. I want to have him turned a bit more. So like I want this to be kind of a fade spot, so that he's going to be let's see here, thighs are going to be unlocked. That. So he'd be kind of waving, or like waving with the arm, but like kind of drifting off to the side a little bit. I want to have a consistent motion. I don't want to just have his arms go up and then wait, like the gravity of the move going back and forth and not affecting how he's shifting and moving in some way. Yeah, that's the other thing too I like, yeah, is the fact that I can just go and be like look in real time. I mean, this is all it's not near as good looking as what Blender would give, but I feel, and that's one reason that it like Valve made this with TF2 in mind, Dota in mind, is you're working with a cartoonish style, and I feel that SFM works great for that style because it doesn't have all those complicated lighting and bouncing and stuff. There's like a lot of people that added like the realistic eyes for ponies and certain details with a lot of the hair and other bump maps, and sometimes it's like, is that needed though? Because you're still working with cartoon horses, and if I feel like if you're going to add a lot of that other detail, then the models itself should have other details added. Then you should be adding like bump maps for hair and like indents or where your ribs are or something like that. It feels like you're adding a lot of detail to something that's simple, and you get a weird uncanny valley contrast. No, the link is not open. Yeah, blocking is difficult. That's actually what I'm doing right now, essentially. If you have a rig that works a lot better, but the pony rigs aren't... they have a lot of shortcomings that leave me not wanting to work with them. And I've tried... did this move back? Oh, it did. I tried playing with the rigs years ago, and I ended up just getting frustrated with it and not caring enough. Scattered Wings sent me at one point a updated version of the rig that does work a little better. The back legs actually work pretty good, but it wasn't what I was looking for still. Well, to me, I think the blocking, it takes a little bit more work, but I think it's fine. It's the blending that gets a little bit more difficult if you don't have a stationary locked position that a rig would give you. Okay, not so low. Actually, I'm thinking ahead. Too much. Actually, I'm gonna grab this actually. I don't know if I did motion this stuff. I want to make sure it's not gonna have an effect. Hello, how's it going? Is that because of... I guess. I don't think it matters, but still, we'll do it. Drinking tea. I'm still in my no sugar thing, so I picked up some blueberry and pomegranate unsweetened tea. Not chai tea though. I think at least in a general sense, that's a pretty... It should work for body movement. Actually, I could shift this a little bit. It would act as a transition, but it wouldn't be a good transition though. Yeah. This transition would work if the camera was like here. Because then I wonder if I can make that work. Yeah, but I don't know if I like it.
I got an idea for a rocket navigation system, but I need.
Actually, maybe that will work.
I got an.
I think that could work. Because it does help transition it.
Rocket navigation system, but I need your help. I got an idea.
But I think if I do this, I'm going to extend this a little bit in that direction. Okay, so where did he end here? He ended right at the end of the eye close.
I got an idea for rocket navigation system, but I need your help. I got an idea.
That's a little better.
I got an idea for a rocket navigation.
Okay. Then that actually does help transition. I will have to start with the camera focused on him. Up until about here.
I got an idea.
Is that gonna blur her too much? No, actually, not really. And then when it passes this margin,
I got an idea.
the focus will shift to her. And I haven't done the lighting for that yet. So I think that does work. It actually works as a better transition. And if that's the case, then I can adjust these. Or not. There we go. All fixed.
I got an idea for a rocket navigation.
If that's the case, then I might see if I can take this. We're gonna extend this by 1, 2, 3. Wait, I want to make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames. And then I'm gonna take him. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I blinked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I guess I could have just looked for the reference. I could probably add another motion to the eye there, but because I took away some of the video length from the this scene, I need to re-add it to that one. And not really wasting any animation because she's just doing it in that shot. So it adds a little bit more length, but really no more work. Well, a little bit. I have to do more hooves animation, but it's just more of extending the same thing.
I got an idea. I got an idea.
No, we don't want to hear about your idea. Quiet. Alright, let's have him blended. Okay, this is going to be a rounded thing, probably early on, fade to the end. I'll worry about the waving second. I'll worry about his secondary animation getting up first. So if he's removing the weight from a leg, so that's from, I'm going to assume that it's going to take him down until he can adjust to the weight difference. That's fine, you can bother me as much as you want. But that's fine. Oof. Okay, that should work. And then I'll add a little bit of a ups bit to the other side too. No, I could just lock the thighs here. It'd be fine. But sometimes it's the fact that it's not a perfect bit and the pixels kind of shift a little bit more. It just shows more jostling or something. I feel it looks better. Okay, there's a little squishing going on there, so I need to do more bend on the other leg. A little bit of a bend I missed in there, but that's fine. I like doing the animation over this larger period of time, but no, not gonna work. Once it works fine if you're gonna have your hoof up the whole time, but not for what I'm planning. I'm just gonna go with that. I don't know if it's exactly what I want, but whatever. Oh, this is a weird motion to get that back in. We're worried about that one. Yeah. You can't even see it anyway. Not fast enough. to have the fall offs as they are. I'm going to have the fall offs like that. Oh, actually, no, that's. That's how I do it. I think once I get up to like this angle, I want to have that lag more. How can a random Joe like you get into making SFMs? Patience. Anybody can. I mean, the models are free, the software is free, tutorials are free. It's all out there. It's just taking the time to sit down and learn it. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff on the screen, and trying to figure out what all that does takes time. When I first started doing it, I started installing the software and immediately looked up tutorials and watched all the Valve tutorials from beginning to end, like 10 episodes of it. It was like over an hour before I even touched the software, because I want to. It's not always about like how do I animate and like how do I lip sync. That's like steps ahead. You need to start with what does that button do? What does that button do? Because otherwise, you don't know how to do any of that. So watching that and seeing how they do things and seeing how they manipulate the interface helps a lot. So I would recommend, at least starting out, learn the interface. Learn what buttons do, at least in a general sense. Like, what does this play button do? What does this record button do? Really, if you're going to do pony stuff, you're never going to use those buttons. So it's just good stuff to know. Besides that, I would make pictures. They're the best way to do it. Like right now, or like you can see here, these were poses, so I'm animating by moving between different poses. It's a type of animating style, and if you learn to make poses, you can animate. It's just lots and lots of poses. So making pictures, usually by replicating something else, picking a screen cap from the show, or just anything. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever you're working with. Find something out there that you want to replicate or try to like do, because if you try to like say in your mind, I'm going to make this pony fly, without a reference image, that can be hard. Once you've done it long enough, maybe you can pull it off the top of your head, but early on, no, because what's the nuances of like where do I move this and stuff. So copying something else allows you to not do any of that, and you're just saying, okay, how do I manipulate the model to get to that point? So one of the first videos I did was I don't remember if it's in here or not. I forgot what it was called. It's on YouTube. I can go find it. No, that's deep in YouTube. Well, essentially, it can be what. Oh no, here it is. So this is one of the first things I made in YouTube, or it's like the third or fourth thing I made. So I just took the actual show. I took the actual show and I copied every shot by shot, like pixel by pixel, and I learned so much about how to manipulate the models doing that. And I mean, I still have came a long way from this, but considering this was within about 2 months of me starting, it was nice to be able to learn that. So I think this took me a full week, which sounds like, oh, you did that in a week. It was like 8 hours a day, kind of a week. I spent my time non-stop working on it. So yeah, don't feel bad about copying things. If you're not trying to steal the credit from it and you're not putting it out there in such a way that you're trying to steal the credit for it, if you put in there saying, like, came from this as a reference for this, and you put it into a whole different medium, to me, there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, it's just patience and practice. Like right now, I wonder, am I know I'm close. Yep, I'm almost 50 hours from set 8,000 hours. So it takes time. Even then, I still don't feel like I know everything. I'm going to assume that the legs in the ground might be able to hold him from wobbling all over the place, but his head won't. That's a pathetic motion. Okay, so if the head... I'll say the head goes this way first. You're a Crayola Pony Tracer? Too much. I think I want to have him... His head needs to go down more here. Ooh, did I forget to move the leg here? Looks like I did. What motion is this? Down. It's down, but it feels like up. Yeah, it's an up motion. That's weird. Let's see if that mostly offsets it. Yeah, it's fine. If you're looking for tutorial videos to watch, there are three YouTube channels I can recommend. Last time I brought up one of them, it summoned him. Oops. And that is going to be, if you just look up Source Filmmaker, the first thing that's going to come up is the SFM channel. These are a little outdated, but they still work pretty good. So they're Valve tutorials here. So it starts with 00 basics, then 01 recording, 01 editing. All these are going to be very useful. A lot of them are going to cover information that's not going to be helpful to you, just because recording is a function of recording TF2 pre-animations like in the game mode. but you're not going to do that with ponies. So it just depends on what you're looking to do. So you're not going to be using a lot of that, but it shows you the functionality and in the interface a little bit for it. And I think this is using it's using maybe a slightly older version of the interface, but it's very, very similar if it is. But some of the most useful ones are going to be basics, editing, manipulating, time selection. If you use a graph editor would be puppeteering is kind of useful, locks is useful, lip syncing is useful, rigging maybe, lighting is useful, particle tutorial I would skip that for a while, but and then pose to pose is probably one of the most important if you're trying to figure out how to do complex animations. But otherwise, these tutorials are very, very helpful. Besides that, there's also a guy called Zachariah Scott. Check him out. He has, strangely enough, I think he has 2 playlists of tutorials. Oh, he might have combined them all. I'm not sure. So he has a whole bunch of tutorials. Usually he does them while they're drunk, and they're pretty funny. So he's where I learned how to do tutorial or particles, how to do some very different things. He also goes and does like a full half-hour video about how to light a scene from beginning to end. So he's pretty useful for this stuff. And there is Jimmerlin's. This is recorded too, so you can watch the recording if you need to get these and you missed them. Jimmerlin's has the tips of the day video, and he's got 78 of them, and all of them cover like a small little tidbit about the software. Super useful stuff. For the amount of information that he portrayed in a very easy to understand and good way, he didn't get a lot of recognition for it. So definitely go check those out. I haven't watched all of them. I usually just, if I'm unsure about how to do something specific, though that's becoming less and less over time, I'll go through here to see if you already did something on it. So definitely check that out. That's the main 3. I've done some myself, but a lot of them are very specific to certain aspects of the software, certain needs. For facial animations, some of the presets are great, yeah. I don't like using the presets, if you're talking like the phonemes. I did that wrong. This should be crossing over into that a little bit. It's not putting it the way I want it to. It's not enough. Should be hitting its peak right around there. Seems too floppy if I keep it like that. Might be a little too floppy. Like it looks like his hoof is dead. Might be able to get away with doing it this way instead. Sculpt. World's best community guest. And Theo too, hello. You better be community guest. I do kind of like that. I wasn't sure if it was going to do anything, but I just tossed it in to see what happens. Good night, Firestorm. See, Scope, you're needed because normally everybody is in a bright and happy mood, and sometimes that goes too far. So they need somebody to help rein them back down with just that Scope face that you're known for. That scowl. There's actually a guy at work that I work with that kind of reminds me of you, just with the mannerisms. He was talking with a group of people and he was just laughing, and then he like turned to leave and he just looked at me and he immediately went like angry straight face. I was like, and walked right by. Yeah, no one expects the boo. Well, no, see, you've done it so much now, though, that if you're there, I do expect it. So you gotta mix it up a little more. You're becoming predictable. um, though I don't know, you cheering for somebody might actually worry me a little bit. I would think that's I would have to ask if you're in good health still. Can I find their head? It's in there somewhere. There it is. Hide. That does sound like you. Too much head bob. Actually, I think I need to keep the head up. Might just say screw it and break the model a little bit. Well, you might be a jerk, but everybody knows you're all warm and fuzzy inside. Alright. Thanks for coming, Theo. Too much. A little bit more. Yeah, that works. I'm actually going to keep it a little bit of the in. I want him being so sad by the end. Probably should blend that last bit. Okay, I don't want to. Actually, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna undo the motion a little bit. So this is where I want them to be, kind of. I'm gonna take this as the one. I'm gonna take off the face though. Pull it back just a little bit. Okay, and then over this time, I'm gonna keep the leg going down. So I'm basically reverting it to a bounce and then implementing gravity. But even that should have a little bit of a bounce. Let's go with it. He's going to be out of focus anyway. You can't stop that rear. What would be a deadpan? Usually it's a straight eyebrow. Let's do that for now. That's a little better. Wish you could get a better. I wonder if I just actually go lower. Probably be the other way around. No, that's too much. Okay, I just got to reduce the open. I don't know if I like having the eyes drop that much though. That feels better. Trying to add some extra details here so it doesn't look like he's being stationary. Okay, I want to make sure I'm not, because right now, even right now, he's still the focus. They are not. I need to better the lighting. Like Spike here is well lit on the front, so I need to get similar here. Actually, I'll just use these. Before I throw that in there, I should readjust these. Definitely needs some better lighting overall because he's pretty well lit here. I thought I did like a filler light for him. Yeah, backlight. See what that does. Too much. That helps balance it out though. I think I need a little bit of an underlight here for him though. So I'm going to rename this as Spike Backlight. And this one, don't need much, I just need very, very small amount of lighting here. I don't need any radius with this one. Shouldn't have any radius with this one either. It's going to cause complexities if I do. So just enough to pick up his details. Yep, that's enough. I think I need a stronger rim light. There, gives a nice little sharp edge. Now it helps him pop in this shot. I probably want to have a little bit of a light on the outside here. I'm just going to go back to my old naming. That's too much. Actually, I can see this being bad no matter what I do, or not working no matter what I do. Because if I move it too close here, you're gonna have this lighting with this dark and then light again. I think I'll keep it very low, like that. I might bump up this a little bit more then. Okay. That works. I'll still have to probably have an eye light. He has an eye light in this one, right? Yeah. Yeah. Don't really care about the small. I just care about the big. Alright, does have an effect. That's all that matters. Okay. I can use spike on her. Alright, now to do Twilight. She's gonna be harder to do because I don't expect Spike to move, but Twilight will. Is her head already there? No, it's looking forward. So yeah, actually this is what's going to make this difficult. She's already looking forward, which is pretty brightly lit. Then she turns her head, so she has to be built to take both types of light. I'm actually going to use spikes, lights as a base. I'm going to grab this one. What's that for? Keep shadows on. I'm not sure if it's doing anything, but sure. I don't know. She doesn't need an underlight, but she does need a backlight. That's what she needs. Something to fill in the gap again. There we go. Now I think I want her to have a brighter edge, kind of like Spike has, but if I do that, it's going to make it super bright on this edge too. Is that the... I think that's that one. What, there's an extra space in it. Yeah, it's that one. There's another one hitting her. Oh, it's probably this one. Not that one. Which one's doing the volumetrics? Is that the shadowed one? Oh, the shadowed one's doing it too. Okay, never mind. So it must be... Is it what I'm already doing? Ah, the ring lights. Aha. So which one is traveling too far? That one. So it's still hitting him, right? Yeah. There. Now I have a little bit better control of my lights. This is still going to balance what she saw here. Balance. It does balance enough. I hate this. I named this one based on what I saw left and right, and then I named Spike's based on his eyes left and right. I think. Yeah. I'm just going to adjust these a little bit to better fit the situation. Okay, since that eye is not actually in view of the screen, it shouldn't be super bright. Just a little. This might be still a little too bright. Why is it so bright in the white spot but not the rest? That's not too bad. I feel like the screen light could be turned up just a little bit. Just this one, right? Yeah. There we go. I'll save it for now. Okay, so this screen light is this one. I'm gonna probably adjust this, move it a little bit this way. Oh, that's the shit. That's the problem, is that's also giving the volumetrics. So I can't move that without causing problems. So instead, make a copy. So this one's going to be turned way the hell down. The volumetrics turned way the hell up. It's not going to do that. Now I can turn this one, turn this volumetrics off. Ooh, this, the other ones should be having an effect on that. Actually, these shouldn't be affect. Oh no, they're still shining in the eye technically. Oh, this one was shadowed. Something was blocking the shadow. Right? Nope, that's not having an effect. Because this is making her eye explode bright. Which I don't really want. Because that's a pretty understandable level of brightness there. And that's being caused by this one. It's a problem with being dark colored horse with white eyes. Does it even help with that? No, it doesn't really give that rim I'm looking for. Still feel that's too bright. I just leave it for now. The one thing I like Radius's look, but I don't like that it just destroys previews. But I guess that's the whole point, is in post-processing, and that's one of the downsides to other software is everything has to be post-processed for the most part. Make sure he is. For some reason I felt that there was a skip. End of the eye. End of the eye. So it's. Oh, that's gonna be tough on this one though. He has his eyes shut, which means that I'll have to do it. They'll have to fix render at the beginning, because otherwise his eyes are gonna do well that. What should I put on those screens? I thought about doing something with his motion on the screen, but the difficult part with that is it's a distraction from what you should be focusing on. I guess he's talking about a rocket, right?
I got an idea for a rocket navigation system, but I need your help.
Okay. So if it's about a rocket navigation, I could do something on this screen regarding rockets. Have I cleaned up this shot? Yeah, I have. For the most part. There's still some... Yeah. I don't need some of this stuff. This one I can see starting to slow down over time. Science stuff. We don't need all the papers. Wait, do we need the boxes? I can get rid of them. I'm not gonna tell. Oh, there's a single model. I'll keep those then. The battery card and computer card, get rid of that. Whatever, I keep forgetting to get rid of this. Don't need those anymore. The pipes are over there, right? Pipes are these? Oh, they're locked to the thing, that's why. They're... Delete, 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 delete. Oh, I didn't get rid of them. I just hid them. That's why. Delete. 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 That one I gotta keep. Delete. And delete. Now, whatever the hell this thing is, I keep forgetting what that thing is. Oh, these two. Okay. This should run a bit better.
I got an idea
Oh, yeah.
for a rocket navigation system, but I need your help.
Good boosted frames. I mean, I can even probably get rid of the mallet, but I think it's causing shadows and stuff. Oh, there's also this science thing in the corner. Where are you? Go away. I'm going to keep the cords because they kind of cross the vision line, and I'm not sure if that's going to be something to worry about. What's that? I missed the wall. Okay. Oh, missed two walls. I can get rid of that floor. Okay. Now I need to get... This is the science equipment? No. Workspace? Okay. Hopefully this screen is separate. Wires and sheet. I don't think it is. I wanted to make it a higher resolution, but to do that I have to... Yeah, that might be tough. We'll see where this is. So workspace 4 sheets. So this one. Yep, It's just one small part of this whole thing. That sucks. Because if I want to increase its resolution, I have to increase the resolution of everything. Which isn't it's easy to do, but just means more memory taken up. There. I could blue screen. So this one's like 2 inches by 2 inches square. And then there's this one down here. What are those two? Oh, they're the other screens in the back there. Okay, so this is currently 1024. I could go to 2048, easy enough. My concern is if I go too much higher than that. Well, what I can do is I can play around with it higher, and if it doesn't, if it's too much, I'll just scale it back down. So it's 2048 and then 4096. Yeah. So that's 8 times the resolution. So I got a lot bigger screen to work with. So I need to do some like space rocket stuff. Okay, that's science rockets. Looking for something that would be like a schematic. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, but I don't want to take too much. So I'm just going to say rocket schematic. Ooh, that's kind of nice. That's shutter, and that's got handwritten on there. That's great. Let's put a handwritten on a computer screen. It's touch screen. I don't really care what it is as long as it's not overly what would you call that? Busy, like this. I want to keep it fairly simple because I need to make sure it's visible. That might work. Physics, I see it. I wonder if blueprint would also work. It doesn't matter if it's an outline. I can change it to whatever I want. It will be a white line, probably with a blue background, but I don't care if it's like a white background right now. I can change it to whatever. I like this one right here. But it's got a lot of other busy stuff. I don't know if I'll be able to clean that up. Never know till you try. Okay. Okay. So first I want to get rid of the checkers because this isn't, I don't want it to be like a blueprint. So I'm going to, it'd be easier if I just remove everything. So I'm going to go with, because everything that I want to keep is white. And that's going to be just that. I'm going to go with there. But I want to go lower tolerance. No, higher tolerance. The other way. It mostly worked. It actually kept kind of a grid in the background, but that might be neat. So first, let's replace this computer screen with something. This might, oh, that's super tiny, never mind. Might just use it anyway. Either that or I might be able to make something that works. I might have one, but we could make one. Well, it's making the vignette might be tough. I'll just do it by hand. I'm kind of a teal. I'm gonna kind of not really a teal. What is that color? Let's go with that again. That'll work. Let's keep it blank for now. And what layer is this? Did I put the shape in? No, I didn't. This was the selection, but oh, I hit a button, I guess. Come on, there you go. So I don't think I want this part. Because mainly because the later parts don't show this or don't have anything to do with this, so I don't want it. Because of that, oops. These lines seem to go to nowhere if they're left. I don't want to go this far in with it, but too late. Need to make sure that this thing nobody will see is in ultra detail. Because I want to take up the whole screen. I just want to take up part of it. So put that there. These didn't really have a vignette, but they did have like a brighter edge. It was basically just like science crap. They have animated textures that move for text stuff, but I don't know if I want to do that. I can kind of do that. I don't know how I would do it in this though. That's fine. All right, now we'll just look up. Let's see. Science graphs. Let's see if we can do CRT. Oh, it's going to be graphs about CRTs. Not what I'm looking for. What would it? I mean, not graphs. What would be the name of like a readout? Yes. I don't know. This looks all sciencey. If I can find one that's more vertical than horizontal. I wonder if that'll work. Like grab just the portion over here. Wrong. Oh, I want to invert that. I want to invert this. I think some of these might be a little lost. Wonder if probably not going to work the way I want it to. But... yeah, not really. Oh, it is pure white right in that edge. But looking at like this, yeah, not gonna work. I could manually do it, but what's that? Oh, that's a new one. I updated Photoshop not long ago, so it's just getting used to it a little bit. Seems like every time they do an update, there's a whole crap load of changes that just confuse the hell out of me. My main priority is just getting this one bordered. Sure, it's not gonna matter on that. Okay. Oh, and this one. Or is it this? No. I think this one. Yeah, gotta get rid of that thing in the bottom here. The other thing too is move this down. No, come on, grab the one I want. There we go. Okay, we gotta do rocket nav there we go. Where is my... Maybe I'm just used to this being up there. Wonderful. This is not the same amount of controls I'm used to having, though. Where are my other text controls? There they are. Okay. Not that. This one. This one. Doing good. How are you? I have other monitors, so I can fill those with whatever. Okay. We'll do... Now this is the stuff that's not gonna... Or it is probably not gonna be readable, but fun for the people that can. I'll turn maybe on this fun. Now, do they have a pre-made arrow? They do. I kind of like the going with the green. Well, no, the tan. I like the tan. I'll go with that. What else can I point on there? What do I want to put for these? I'm unsure if there we go. I don't want to put it too low. These I'll keep on there as is, though it does kind of have a rim I need to get rid of. Okay. Go away. There. I think I'll leave it at that for now. So if this is going to be a monitor, I'd probably want to have it have some kind of vignette on the outside. So what I'm going to do for that is bottom shape here. Select pixels. No. This would be rasterized layer. Then select pixels. That seems like it has an inside black border. I didn't want that. Why does it always do that? Ah, I have plenty more space now. I gotta adjust things. Let's move this over, and I think that should be fine then. Actually, I can make this a little bigger if I... Oh, no, that's locked to it. That's fine. Rocket negation. Actually, I probably should put some kind of a... That looks better. I don't want to put the word gay in the middle. Don't know if it offend anybody. Okay, and then now if I rasterize this layer, select pixels, new, fill with black, And then grab my eraser. That was the old undo. Not anymore. Okay. That darkens the corners a little bit. Sure. Do I want to do scan lines? I don't think they're going to show up very well. They're kind of annoying to do too. I'll just check this out and see how it goes. It might cry to me. Because I just increased it by 8 times. Nice thing is it doesn't matter how complex the texture is. It's always going to be the same size because it's a lossless file format. That is very surprising that that worked. I don't want any of this being lost. So do that. This could be an enormous file size. $65 megabytes. Jeez. Well, that's for the other one. The compressed one's actually not that bad. I thought that was going to be like 65. And all the other textures won't be affected because I stretched them, but they're going to be still taking the same pixels. It just looks at the ratio. Okay, that will work. I think I just want to move everything a little bit over to the left. So yes, you cannot read it, but that is fine. So I don't actually need it to be red. The only thing I think with it is it doesn't feel bright enough. I can fix that. So I'm going to take everything above here. Oh, except, is this the one? Where's the, okay, that's the one, good. Just going to move it to the center a little more. Is it top to bottom pretty good? Yeah, it was. Okay. I should have thought about that. This is going to take a while to load again. In the meantime, so yes, you use self-illumination. That's perfect. Should be done in a second here. Aha. So, it worked one time. I've had that do that to me before though. So it had no problem one time, but after that, it has problems. but in the editor here, not float. Go self-illum tint. So make it go away. It's fine. And now we're going to go 222. Twice as bright. See it now loaded. But even then, it feels evenly lit from all corners. I might dumb it down and see if I can shine a light at the screen. Self-illumination should let me do that. The texture's big. Just being uncentered is bugging me. And actually, this is harder to read too because, there, that's good. I'm running this at 720. The depth of field has a little bit to do it, but I can read rocket navigation. The rest is a little harder to read, but I'm wondering if at a like higher render setting. Little bit maybe, but I don't want to turn down the depth of field because I like it right where it is. So if I push the... No, I can't push the focus any further because if I do, I'm going to lose focus on... Well, I'll lose focus on Spike, but I really don't care because it's Spike. Yeah. Maybe I just won't care about Spike. Puts him a teeny bit out of focus. Actually puts her out of focus a little bit. So she's in focus really well here. Push her a little bit out. She's still in focus. Maybe it's just right at the beginning here. Okay, it is staying about the same spot. Once it gets here, it kind of the camera kind of flattens. Okay. Makes it a little easier to read, so that's fine. I don't know, I like making Spike the butt end of jokes. He's just so... he's such a tool. I love it. So I'm going to try taking a... let's take one of the actor lights. Yes, I can. Oh, actually, this is a good example of showing how radius works. So you can see, if I have the radius all the way at 0, the light just shines in one spot, but if I increase radius, you can now see it like speckles, and the higher I put it, you can start seeing it doesn't create a larger light, it just creates more of spots of light. So the larger the light, the better it does it with, and since this is tighter, it's just making lots and lots of the tight light. So yeah, you can see like one's over there. Or, no, one's right there. Does it change? No, at least it's static. But one's there. So yeah, that's what radius does, and why I love it, but I hate it. There's going to be glare on a screen. It looks like it's at the bottom compared to, or like seeing how some of the others are. So let's see if we can just add this to the bottom. I think what I need is the what is that? Workspace. I'm gonna pump back that to 2 and just dumb that light down a little bit more. Main thing I want to do is just cause an imbalance. Maybe I'll do this. think it works. It's just that I don't like the way that it is over brightening the whites. It's going to be a tight line, but I'll figure it out. And it's not cut off, I want it cut on. Oops. Might just leave it like that, because then I get the light coming from the bottom and feeling imbalanced. That's all I really cared about. I didn't want the whole screen to feel like it was just a photoshopped image put on there. That's doing a lot better with that. So do I need to put any light in his eyes? I don't think I want to, just because the amount of work it would be to try to get that figured out, or not figured out, to move. When the eyes are nice and big, you can hide a lot of the little sloshy moves, but when they're a smaller pupil, it's so much more difficult. Which is what she actually has here, but thankfully it's at the edge. And it's kind of needed because of the screens. Him back there, not so much. The lights that are needed are behind him. Okay, these back ones, I don't even think I need to change them. I mean, she's going to move in some way or another, but these ones, I could probably just leave as they are. These are low quality, but with the blur, it's not going to matter. You can see them a bit more here, but whatever. And then before I forget, I'm just going to leave papers here now because I know I don't need them. I'm using the original illumination. I don't need that either. So I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to add that override to this one. Actually, this is a lot better quality than I was expecting. I thought this was going to be unreadable like these are, which are pretty bad. Okay. Well, this twilight's not going to get any light. Not right now. I'm going to get to it, but it's not the scene I'm currently working with. I feel like I need more light hitting her in the face, but I just can't do it without blowing this part out of proportion. Oh, and I can't see transition because I don't have it done yet. I can add a little bit more light. I can add a little bit more light behind here, just a little bit. Spikes, backlight. No. Spikes, back, highlight. But I think once I'm actually animating, this might not work. Because this is coming from screens like this, I probably want to make this a bit more blue. A little tighter. I'll probably try on shadows. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Keep the attenuation up. There's a little bit of rim then, extra. Okay, other than animating her, I think that's about most I'm going to be able to do with. Well, I got to animate Spike a little bit too. But I'll get to that. Anyway, so it's just about 9 o'clock anyway. So I'll probably be having to do some lip syncing on Friday because either that or figure out some of this other audio stuff. I don't know. Oh. We're getting there though. Wait, actually, I'm further along in this than I thought I was going to be, considering the whole big rocket thing. But I mean, this was the hardest part, and it's done. So I think I need to. I think I need to lower the texture on the quality on this or something, because this seems so stands like it stands out too much. Or add something to it, like clouds in the background of here or something. I'll get to that later. So, enough for today. So much shit open. This, though, I am saving. Just in case I need to go back and edit it. So, anyways, thanks for coming. I'll be back Friday. Wait, maybe a friend is in town, so I might stream, but if I do, it's probably going to be short because I don't want to spend all the time streaming when friends visiting. So anyway, that's it. Have a good week, I guess. Oh, there's no cat. I'm sorry. We'll get you. Actually, since Scope is here, we'll give you the other good one. Here, instead of cat, you can have that. You're welcome. Good night, everybody.